Hey guys, it's Ashley. Today is the day that I promised I would release the top 5 things I wish all first-time homebuyers knew. Number 1 is why use an agent when buying my house. So this one is definitely an important one to me. So a couple of things that I think you should know is that obviously as an agent, we know the ins and outs of the market, we know the ins and outs of the contract, and we're really only here to help represent you to make sure that you're covered going into probably the biggest purchase you're making in your life up until this point. So big thing is I know a lot of first-time home buyers are worried about, well, who pays you? So not you, which is nice. So a seller does pay a buyer's agent. It's part of their selling their home. So really we're only here to help represent you and make sure that we're going to answer all of the questions that you need and kind of guide you along the process of the whole thing. So from showing you houses, getting you inside houses, setting you up on searches, once you find a house, really going over the contract with you, also really linking you with people that we trust in the industry when it comes to who you're going to be closing with, who's going to be running your title on your house to make sure it's clean and free of any liens so that you're getting something that is really ready to go, and also your home inspector, which is going to be a huge step to make sure that you're happy with the condition of the house before you move in. So a buyer's agent is going to be there to walk through all the steps with you. As a buyer's agent who I work with buyers quite often, I think that I just work so hard to make it very smooth where you don't have a lot of hiccups. And then when you do, I try to burn out little fires for you so that you have a good, memorable experience, that you don't feel super stressed. So it's really easy. It should be an easy process. It's a big process, but it shouldn't be overwhelming. It should still be fun so that when you get keys that day, you're just ready to move in. So number 1, definitely get a buyer's agent. Look into who you would want to work with, make sure your personalities work well together, and make sure that you have someone that's really ready to be an ally for you. So we'll get to topic 2. Okay, so topic 2. So this one I know can be a little bit of a sticky point, I think, for some first-time home buyers. And step 2 is, why does my agent ask for a pre-approval letter first? So really a pre-approval letter should be the first step in your home buying process. And as soon as you kind of find your buyer's agent, they will start recommending you to people that they trust, or they'll ask you about the process. And I know a lot of times you get super excited and you want to start getting in homes before you get that pre-approval letter. Well, here's why we try not to do that. Number 1, the pre-approval process can sometimes take a little bit, and the market's moving so quickly. So by the time you find a home and then go through the pre-approval process, there's a good chance that home is no longer going to be there. So to submit an offer, you have to have a pre-approval letter. Another big reason is we do like to protect our sellers as well and make sure that we're bringing people that are actually able to purchase homes into their houses. So these are the property of the sellers. A lot of them still have personal belonging in there. So they feel more comfortable knowing it's not just somebody random trying to look in their house that actually isn't interested in purchasing. So having the pre-approval letter up front just lets us know that you're willing, you're able, and we're doing our due diligence and making sure that we're bringing people that are truly looking for houses, not just being nosy neighbors, that sort of a thing. So it's really important that you get through that step, and then it just gives you a good idea of exactly what price range you should be sticking in, exactly what type of payment you'd like to have compared to like maybe what you qualify for. So I do see that happen often, that maybe you qualify for $400,000, but you only want your payment to be $2,200. So there are just the differences there. So it's, getting the pre-approval letter is really just going to give you the good guidelines of where to stay in your comfort zone. You don't want to be house poor. We don't want anybody to be house poor. So pre-approval is just your really good first step. And I always recommend doing that first before you look into houses, so that you don't get your hopes up and see your dream house go, because you have to start that process afterwards. So now we'll get to number 3. All right. So we are back with number 3. Number 3 is, why does my agent say I should use a local lender for my mortgage? So I love this topic. A local lender is someone that your agent has probably worked with in the past, and they trust them throughout the whole process. A local lender isn't someone that's working Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 in a big box bank in a cubicle with hundreds of other lenders. There's someone that's going to be always available, which is a huge deal. So why is that a big deal? So we're out looking at houses, 7 o'clock on a Saturday, and that's it. You find your dream home, 7 o'clock on a Saturday, and I can't get a hold of your loan officer because they're not local, and that house is gone. So we have to be able to communicate with your loan officer when you find that house you want to find, when you finally find the right house. So if you don't have a local loan officer and I can't get a hold of them till Monday, you've probably lost your dream home. And I hate to see that happen. I know it's so frustrating to lose a home to a loan officer, not being able to get a hold of them, because I've had that happen with many clients and it's not fun. And a lot of those clients have switched from like a big box bank to going somewhere local, so that doesn't happen to them again. A local loan officer also has knowledge of what's happening around the area. So they're just really a good resource to use they have local tax information, and they just have insights to what's happening in the local market, opposed to someone sitting out of state that really doesn't know what's happening here. Another huge factor for your local loan officer is they have access to local grant money that your big box banks are not going to have. So there are plenty of grants out there for first-time home buyers, those sorts of things, that they are the only people that can touch it. So why not speak with someone local to see if maybe you qualify for some of those funds and tap into those resources that are definitely available for you to use. So ask your agent if they have any loan officers that they would recommend. All of us have a couple people that we know are really trustworthy and that are there for you every step of the way to get it done. I work with people that if I need them at 9:30 on a Sunday or 8 a.m. Saturday morning, they're there, and they're going to be there to answer any questions that I have, and they're going to be there to make sure that the house that you find that you love is ready to go and that it's going to fall within your qualification, your parameters. They're going to be able to give you the estimated payment, and all that information is so readily available when you use someone that's really invested in our local market. So it makes a huge difference, huge difference. So we will go on to number 4. All right, so we are back with number 4. Number 4, why should I stop using Zillow? So I know that people use Zillow. I've seen Zillow, I've used Zillow. We've all used Zillow. We see the commercials, we see the ads, we all do those sorts of things. So Zillow is a tool that many first-time homebuyers are going to use just because there's a plethora of houses that seem available on there. Here's the thing I want you to know about Zillow is, if you want to use Zillow, by all means, you definitely can do that, but I don't want you to get your hopes up when those houses are done. So Zillow is a great tool for some. Just now, right in our market currently, when things are moving so fast, Zillow just isn't keeping up. So as an agent, we have tools that are directly connected to our MLS, which is our listing service. And that is where we are updating when our listings are going under contract, that sort of thing, where Zillow just doesn't have that capabilities because they are running on a national scale. So they can't stick with keeping up with every single thing that is happening. So oftentimes you'll see a home on Zillow that it says for sale, and that house has been sold or has been under contract for a good amount of time, and they're just waiting to close on that. So make sure you have an agent that is able to give you access to their MLS so that you can stay up to date. I know for all of my clients looking for homes, I do set them up on a search that is directly connected to our listing service so that you are seeing homes that are actually available. And that's a huge deal. It's a time saver for you. It doesn't let you get your hopes up on a house that isn't actually available. So that's just really important. And I know a lot of my clients have my app that I have that's going to be connected directly to the MLS. So it's still a great research tool, but it's going to filter out those ones that aren't actually available for you to look at any longer. So no Zillow, especially now just in this really hot market, things are just going too fast for Zillow to keep up to date. So make sure you have an agent like myself that is going to give you the tools that you need to see what is actually available in the market. All right, that is it for number 4, and we just have one left. All right, so we are so close to being done. We are at number 5. So number 5 is, what should I really expect from the home inspection? So I do think during the home buying process, the home inspection can feel like one of the most intimidating parts or the scariest parts. And that's just because the reports that generally come in are going to be kind of lengthy. So I just want to take a second to touch base on what we really should be looking for. So keep in mind, a home inspector is going to go in and they're going to flag every little detail that they find. So whether it's either big or small, it's going to be in that report. So you really want to pay attention to the big when you're purchasing a home. So you want to pay attention to your foundation, your electrical, your plumbing, all of those sorts of issues that you really don't want to have to tackle that project before you move into the home. Smaller things like cracked up outlet covers, those sorts of things, you probably could fix for, 50, 60 cents from Home Depot. So you really kind of have to prioritize to focus on what's going to be really important to you to move into it. So keep in mind too, the home inspection report that comes in, like I said, it details every little thing. So you just want to keep an eye on what kind of would fall into like a general maintenance of just becoming a new homeowner. So if you're used to renting and you've had a landlord, you're used to being able to call and say, hey, you know what I mean, this isn't working so well, but now that's on you. So you just gotta be really good at keeping up with your general maintenance of the home. And a good inspector is gonna give you a report that's gonna show you what some of those items should be so that you know what to look out for while being a new homeowner. So that is it for our 5 things you must know. I will see you guys at my next video. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, please feel free to let me know. And don't be afraid, and let's just get your home buying journey started. I'll talk to y'all soon.